In the snow-capped mountains of the moon, standing high above the rich lands of the Vale, stands the Eyrie. A storied and impregnable fortress said to have been built by the legendary Mountain Kings in the Age of Heroes. It is the stronghold of House Arryn, one of the oldest noble families in Westeros. Their sigil, a soaring falcon over a crescent moon. Their words, as high as honor. The Arryns are direct descendants of the Andal invaders, who sailed across the narrow sea and came ashore at the Fingers. According to legend, Sir Artus Arryn, known as the Winged Knight, soared through the sky atop a giant falcon, landing on the peak of the highest mountain where he defeated the Griffin King in battle. It was the Andal's first great victory over the First Men, and Sir Artus was duly rewarded. He was declared King of the Mountain and the Vale, and the region was renamed the Vale of Arryn. Thousands of years later, Aegon the Conqueror arrived in Westeros. House Arryn bent the knee to Aegon and his dragons, and were allowed to maintain the control of the region, as Lords Paramount of the Vale and Wardens of the East. Over the centuries, House Arryn remained loyal to the Targaryen dynasty, until Lord Jon Arryn joined with Houses Baratheon and Stark in rebellion against Mad King Aerys. Upon winning the Iron Throne, Robert named Lord Jon Hand of the King, a position he held until his mysterious death.
Despite appearances, I think you'll find the city's on the rise. Perhaps we should take shelter.
The city's on the rise?
Meereen is strong. Commerce has returned to the markets. The people are behind you. Well, not all the people, of course. No ruler that ever lived had the support of all the people. But the rebirth of Meereen is the cause of this violence. The Masters cannot let Meereen succeed. Because if Meereen succeeds, a city without slavery, a city without masters.
It proves that no one needs a master.
Good. Shall we begin?
Do we have a plan?
I will crucify the Masters. I will set their fleets afire, kill every last one of their soldiers, and return their cities to the dirt. That is my plan. You don't approve.
You once told me you knew what your father was. Did you know his plans for King's Landing when the Lannister armies were at his gates? Probably not. Well, he told my brother, and Jaime told me.
He had caches of wildfire hidden under the Red Keep.
The guild halls, the Scepter Baler, all the major thoroughfares. He would have burned every one of his citizens. The loyal ones and the traitors. Every man, woman, and child. That's why Jamie killed him.
This is entirely different.
You're talking about destroying cities. It's not entirely different. I'd like to suggest an alternate approach.
Our men in King's Landing will march north in 3 days' time.
It'll take us a fortnight just to gather supplies for the train.
We don't have a fortnight. If the north falls, we fall. 3 days. The remaining forces in the Westerlands will take the river road east. We'll meet at Lord Harroway's town and march together to Winterfell.
Sir Jamie.
Your Grace.
My lords, I need a moment with my brother.
Grace?
What are you doing?
Preparing the expedition north.
Expedition north. I always knew you were the stupidest Lannister. The Starks and Targaryens have united against us, and you want to fight alongside them. Are you a traitor or an idiot?
You pledged our forces to fight our common
I'll
enemy.
say whatever I need to say to ensure the survival of our house. You expect me to trust the man who murdered our father? You expect me to command our troops to fight beside foreign scum? To fight for the Dragon Queen?
You saw it with your own eyes. You saw a dead man trying to kill us.
And I saw it burn. If dragons can't stop them, if Dothraki and Unsullied and Northmen can't stop them, how will our armies make a difference?
This isn't about noble houses. This is about the living and the dead.
And I intend to stay amongst the living. Let the Stark boy and his new queen defend the north. We stay here where we've always been.
I made a promise. Our child will never be born if the dead come south.
The monsters are real. The White Walkers, the dragons, the Dothraki screamers, all the frightening stories we heard when we were young, they're all real, so be it.
Once before, I offered you peace. If you had not been so arrogant, you could have returned to your homeland with a fleet of ships. Instead, you will flee Slaver's Bay on foot. Like the beggar queen you are.
We are here to discuss terms of surrender, not to trade insults.
The terms are simple. You and your foreign friends will abandon the Great Pyramid and the city of Meereen. The Unsullied you stole from Krasny's Monoclos will remain to be sold again to the highest bidder. The translator you stole from Krasny's Monoclos will remain to be sold again to the highest bidder. The dragons beneath the Great Pyramid will be slaughtered.
We obviously didn't communicate clearly. We're here to discuss your surrender, not mine.
I imagine it's difficult, adjusting to the new reality. Your reign is over.
My reign has just begun.